Baik, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I'm going to explain about a seminar proposal as the title is the implementation of basic English grammar material based web of adverse for the first year student of English Education Department at UIN Makassar. And my name is Andira, and here I'm going to explain about my senior proposal. As the first consultant, Dr. Haji Abdul Muiz Said, MED, CT PhD. As the second consultant, Nur Aliyah Nur, SPDI, MPD. So, langsung saja to the point material is about background. The rapid development of technology in the current era of communication has provided many benefits in progress in various social aspects. The use of technology by humans in helping to complete work is a must in life. There is no denying that technology has evolved and has become the most impactful thing in everyone's life. Educational and learning technology are two components that are key to each other. For example, learning is still ongoing even though there are no education as a means of delivering material. But with technology, students can still gain knowledge according to their version, as according to Fata Shukr, the learning will more effective if there are media or tools that support it, such as experience or video and so on. Like this, which is Yusuf Hadi Mirsal, that the role of educational technology for students is needed, but in solving problems, there are micro and macro to Mirsal 2005. So the next material is talking about research question and research objective. Research question is how is the effective in implementing of web-based basic English grammar of adverb for first year student of English Education Department at UIN Alauddin Makassar. As the second research objective, define or the effective the implementation of web-based basic English grammar of adverb for first year student of English Education Department at UIN Alauddin Makassar. So the next is talking about research significance. As the first, theoretical significance. Website is a site that contains pages that store various materials. In this study, research the site and the implementation website that contains material about English grammar, especially adverb material, which will be useful for English language learners. For English education students, by using this website, learners can learn about adverbs anywhere. So as the second, practical significance. For practical purpose, the research can provide benefits for students of English education, especially material on basic English grammar material based on web of adverbs to aid insight and help students to more easily learn grammar, one of which is adverbs. Next, for the second, this research can help lecture and institution as innovative teaching material so that the teaching process can be more interesting. Finally, for the third, this research can help research to see how effective this material is applied in the first semester of English Education Department. So the next material is talking about research scope. This research will focus on the implementation of basic English grammar material-based web of adverb, which has been developed by previous research virtually for first years English education students at UIN Alauddin Makassar. Adverb material is very important to learning in English because it is very influential in mastering the four elements of English, namely speaking, listening, reading, and writing. The research shows one of the basic English grammar materials, namely adverb. It provides teaching material, instructional video, and exercise on the web. In this study, the research will adopt an experimental approach. So the next material is talking about operational definitions of there are four several. As the first, implementation. The process of making something active or effective is the act of implementation of product that has been created or developed. In this research, the product that will be implemented is web-based basic English grammar for adverb. As the second, web-based material. Website is a site or page containing various kinds of learning that helps teacher and student in the teaching learning process or as a medium of learning both formal and informal. Web-based material in this research is kind of page that can be accessed by the student using internet and content-based English grammar material for advert and other material for English basic English grammar. As the second is basic English, as the third, basic English grammar. Basic English grammar is one of the lessons that need to be learned in learning English. This material has been learned in UIN Alauddin Makassar, especially at the first year student of English Education Department, where a part is adverb. The last is adverb. Adverb is one of part of speech in basic English grammar used to describe verb, adjective, another, and sentence overall. The next is literature review. So, literature review is talking about previous research funding. The first research was conducted by Daniel, conducted in implementation of web-based learning in College of Education. The research for this study found the result of a survey to determine the factor that serves as barrier on enable the implementation of web-based learning in College of Education. The second research was conducted by Simulasi, Wiwit, and Latifah, conducted a student self-assessment on web-based grammar exercise during COVID-19 pandemic. Teaching grammar online is a great challenge for the students since it is considered difficult and need to have lots of attention from the student. Web-based grammar exercise is one of the methods in teaching grammar where the teacher can explain the material in online using any tools or applications such as Zoom, Google Meet. The third research was conducted by Tora. Conducted is implementation of a web-based educational tool for digital signal processing teaching using the technological acceptance model. The theory out of a learning application that will be applied in this study is the model application, presenting an exploratory study on the development of structural and measuring model for technology accepted is called a term of web-based educational tools. So the next is talking about theoretical foundation. The first is web-based instruction. Web is the stand for World Wide Web, an internet subject covering several fields that can be studied by web browser. The term of web is usually defined as same as internet. However, there are no alike internet refers to global network of emergent to separate information that occurs over the web possible. The second is material implementation. Material implementation is everything that is written by teacher and lecturer to be set aside in the preparation of language input according to recommendation. The aim is to provide language information in a way designed to promote language learning. This tier need analysis. According to Woodhouse Abraham, stated that need analysis is a process that improves collection information and data regarding the specific needs of group customer in industry or education. The last is basic English grammar. There are several levels. What is grammar? Grammar are components that should be administered in teaching and learning process of language. The word of grammar has several meanings and many people attempt to explain about grammar. Different explain or define the term grammar differently according to Harmer. The second is why do we learn grammar? There is no point in learning grammar for the sake of learning grammar. Grammar is the super system of communication and learning to communication better. Grammar explains the why and how of language. We learn it because we just can do it. Adverb is a word that describes position on a sentence. Adverb is a word which modifies the meaning of a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. You can see theoretical framework, namely implementation of basic English grammar material associated with adverb, experiment class, control class, adverb, and using basic English grammar, and using English handbook, and effectiveness of basic English grammar material based web of adverbs. So this stage will employ the experimental method in the according with the supply framework. The first step is the research will divide into two different classes, experimental class and control class. Based on the step in experimental study, the research from ourselves the groups, they say how all of each group. The second stage, the experimental method. In this research, we'll give the material based web is adverb in both of the class. The research will give the same material based web for both of class experiment. The third stage is this research will be kind the implementation stage with using of the product of the best adverb material. According to Gay, stage that a common misconception is that a control car always receive no treatment, but a group with no treatment will really provide a file conversion. The last stage in the research will see how is the product effective between experiment class and control class. The research will measure the student ability in mastering the adverb and seeing which one of the product is effective for student. The last material is talking about hypothesis. Null hypothesis using basic English grammar material based is not effective in teaching adverb for the first year student of English Education Department at UIN Alauddin Makassar. The second alternative hypothesis using basic English grammar material based is effective in teaching for adverb the first year student of English Education Department UIN Alauddin Makassar. Next, research method. In this research, the research will use the quantitative research design and will be used experimental research method. According to the experimental research is the type of research that tests hypotheses to establish cause-effect relation. It represents the strong chain of relation about the links between variables. In experimental research, the research manipulates at least one independent variable, control other relevant variables, and observe the effect on one or more dependent variable. Next, population and sample. Population, according to Sugiyoni, define the population as a generation area consisting of subject or subject that have certain quality and characteristic determined by the research. to study and the draw conclusion. The population of this research is the first year student of English Education Department in Alaudin Makassar. There will be a student from the classes such as PBA, B, and C. The second sample. A sample is the specific group that you will collect data from students of the first years with the monitoring of English Education Department in Alaudin Makassar will be the subject of this research, which consists of 20 students. They come from PBA, PBAB, and PBAC class of English Education Department. So, research instrument. The research should use instruments that are in accordance with quantitative data analysis to make it easier for research to analyze data. In this research, the type of design use quantitative design and will use experimental method in testing the effectiveness of material in the implementation of basic English grammar material based of at first for the first year student of English Education Department at the Makassar. So the research will lead to tests to the two groups, control and experiment, by giving a pre-test and post-test to find out how the accessibility and effectiveness of the materials. Next, data collecting procedure. The research conducts some sensitive procedure adapting experimental method to collect the data. For the beginning of collection the data, the research will collect the data through questionnaire and interview in order to gather some information regarding student needs to determine the best dosage English grammar materials. For initial data collection, research will collect data through questionnaire and interview to collect some information about the material that need to be identified with best English grammar material. So the last material is talking about data analysis technique. In this study, research used data analysis technique in the front of quantitative analysis techniques. At this stage, the SPSS application will be used for the data collection to calculate the mean, median, and standard deviation for the first year English education major SPSS statistical faculty for social science. This is software program used by research in various disciplines for the quantitative analysis of complex data. At this stage, we can use it for advanced statistical analysis, data analysis for machine learning algorithm, string analysis, and big data that can be integrated to build a data analysis platform. So I think that's all for me explain the seminar proposal. I do apologize for mistake, and I hope you correct me if I am wrong. And thank you for Mem Alia, and thanks for watching in my video. And assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.